Hey there, we are here for another week of the 99% Local podcast. Thanks so much for joining me. This episode hits home a little bit. Back in 2016, I had the opportunity to go on a short-term missions trip to Haiti, Bois-de-Landes, Haiti, to be exact, which is about an hour from Cap Haitian. And just to give you an idea, Cap Haitian is 6+ hours away from Port-au-Prince, but luckily there was an airport in Cap Haitian. That trip honestly changed my life. We had the opportunity to run dental clinic for locals, English camps for local students, and I even tried to help out with some technology needs. But if anyone's familiar with the culture in Haiti, everything moves really slow. One of the most memorable parts of the trip, though, was spending time with and playing with the young children that were part of an orphanage, and also realizing that these children are very vulnerable. Haiti has over 32,000 orphaned and abandoned children living in approximately 760 orphanages throughout Haiti, and less than 15% of these orphanages are registered or even monitored by Haitian authorities. Obviously, there are daily struggles that determine the course of these kids' future. This is where Angel Noble's organization, Mission of Truth, is trying to step in and make a difference. Angel runs Mission of Truth alongside her husband, Peter Noble. If that name sounds familiar, Noble, it's because Nashville and Haiti are synonymous with the Nobles. I first heard of the Nobles and their organization, Nashville for Haiti, back in 2015 from a podcast by another Franklin resident, Mike Lewis, called the Giving is Believing podcast. I would recommend go back and listen to that podcast. Mike is passionate about Haiti and also about adoption and has a lot of good stories. That is the Giving is Believing podcast. You'll hear Angel and I discussing that a little bit at the beginning of the episode. As you'll learn more in this episode, Mission of Truth is working to address the unresolved emotional conflicts, help develop healthy coping skills, and help each child and their partner orphanages in Haiti realize their self-worth. The main goal of Mission of Truth is to ensure that each child can overcome their life circumstances and prepare them for a purposeful future after they age out of the orphanage, which is usually around the age of 18. Angel doesn't only have a passion for Haiti, but she also has a background in performance and dance and represented Franklin, Tennessee as Mrs. Franklin 2019 in the Mrs. Tennessee pageant this past summer. I'm going to let Angel do the rest of the talking, so let's get to my conversation with Angel Noble, founder of Mission of Truth.
I see you're friends with Mike Lewis, who did something similar a little bit. And I don't know if he's doing it anymore.
Yeah, but I don't think he is. So through Mike Lewis. So I first met Mike online because we moved down here a couple of years ago. And I started listening to Mike's podcast, and around that time I had went to Haiti as well. So,
oh, really?
Okay. Yeah. So I started, looking into what he was doing, got to know him, and, he was actually a resource for us moving down here. And then, that's how I actually got to know who you and your husband are as well. So
awesome.
I was going to introduce you as a stilt walker, a mom, a children's advocate, and Mrs. Franklin 2019, but we'll talk more about those things. But more relevant to this podcast episode is you are the co-founder and director of U.S. operations for an organization called Mission of Truth. I know that, through your husband, Peter, I heard of Nashville for Haiti as well, and I know you're involved in a lot in that. So let's just dig right into it. What is Mission of Truth at the highest level?
Mission of Truth exists to provide trauma therapy to children in Haitian orphanages. And the reason behind that is because Peter and I have been working in Haiti for years, almost 8 years, and have built a lot of relationships, not only with orphanage directors, but the actual children in these orphanages. And over time, we continue to see that when these children are turning 17 and 18, they're getting kicked out from the orphanage. They age out, and they are completely unequipped to handle life on their own. I mean, they might have gotten food and water and a bed to sleep in the orphanage, but then they're out on the streets, and their sense of reasoning and acclimating into society was just not there. So we wanted to do something about that. We have Haitian child psychologists that go in to the partnered orphanages that Mission of Truth partners with and implements a trauma therapy curriculum on a weekly basis.
All right. So you had talked about the issue, of these orphans being abandoned and living in these orphanages throughout Haiti, and talked about, who age out, the children who age out. So I know on your website you talk a lot about, some of the statistics on those children who age out and, don't have, the proper counseling and the trauma therapy you mentioned. So what are some of those statistics of those children that become 18 and get out of those orphanages?
Sadly, Chris, 10% of these children will end up taking their own life. 40% become homeless. 60% will enter into prostitution, men and women. And it's crazy because they don't even see these things as bad. It's just simply a survival mechanism. And in total, 70% become criminals in some capacity. And the thing is 80 to 85% have living parents. So they know that they were dropped off or abandoned. And that just completely does something incredibly different to the brain instead of I lost my parents in a car accident. So these children know that they were dropped off and left at an orphanage, and many have other siblings that were chosen to stay at home. So all of these elements come into play and cognitively affect how these children make decisions. And that's why these statistics are what they are.
Let's talk a little bit more about what Mission of Truth is actually doing, because I know you do a lot from here in the U.S., but you're also active within Haiti as well. So, well, first of all, are there specific areas throughout Haiti that you're partnering with these orphanages in?
Yes, we have 4 partnered orphanages in the Gracier-Lagon area of Haiti, which is where our Haiti operations are. We've got a guest house and offices centered in a little neighborhood called La Colline. And there we have we do have room for mission teams. So we do host mission teams. But with the 4 partnered orphanages, actually, and we're in the process of adding on another one, these orphanages are all Haitian run and directed. And our 2 child psychologists visit 1 orphanage per day. We provide a hot meal for everyone there, the children and the staff. And from there, the psychologists do their therapy programs as a group. And then they will pick out throughout the week a few individuals that they kind of dive deeper with, because we're also implementing what we call an individual life plan, where the therapists work individually and get to know these children and ask the appropriate questions to learn what makes them tick, what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses. And our hope is that not only are we helping them and serving them emotionally, spiritually, and mentally right now in the orphanage, but when they age out, our hope is that we can get these children in a vocational program and then be contributing members of their community when they age out. So that is our big picture goal, is not only serving them today, but everything we do today is also going to serve them in the future.
Yeah, and I think you had a video on your Facebook page about a young girl, Stefania, and if it was the same video I'm thinking of, she was talking about, she wants to be able to, learn these skills and stay in the community to help out. I believe she said that she wanted to be a nurse.
Yes, that is correct. And Stefania's story is very true. We've just changed her name, but everything we talked about for this little girl is true and correct. And it wasn't very difficult to video her because we couldn't make any of that up. But yes, so with Stefania, she would be the example where our hope would be as she gets older, not only is she getting training where we get nurses from the community that would come in and do training camps, but we hope to sponsor Stefania at a vocational or nursing school and program as she gets to the appropriate age and send her and hopefully equip her to be a nurse when she gets out.
Yeah. So if anyone wants to see that video is on your Facebook page.
Yes.
I hate to say it, but, a lot of organizations, similar to Mission Truth are missing the mark here. I mean, a lot of organizations, yeah, they're in Haiti and they're doing good, but, they take money to just provide the housing, pay some of the staff, provide, meals. But beyond that, what you're doing is awesome because you're actually, taking the time to counsel these kids and give them vocational training so that, once they do age out, like you said, they have a path to lead them on. So
that's correct. I mean, that is what Peter and I have seen over the course of the years is that thousands, if not millions of dollars have been funneled to Haiti with great intentions. And I'm not saying that these dollars weren't put to good. Right. But at the end of the day, when these children age out of the orphanages, now you just have a well-fed criminal, So that is what we needed to address and felt very passionate about.
So what other kind of things are you doing with these children? I went through the Facebook group and saw a lot of camps and things that you guys put on.
Yeah, with school being out during the summer, our psychologist, we had a lot of camps happening from craft to sports. And unfortunately, there are some civil unrests happening, just political issues. So Peter and I weren't able to fly down as often as we would have liked. But the beauty of our staff and the beauty of Mission of Truth is that everything can happen without us being there, which is also what we wanted. We wanted this to be a Haitian-run operation. And we have been blessed. We've got a staff of 8 that are incredible people that care about the mission as much as we do. They care about these children. So during the summer, we did have some camps. And now that school's back in, there's just kind of after school is when the therapists go and begin their curriculums. And it can be anywhere from emotionally dealing with knowing your parents made the choice to abandon you to understanding self-value and worth and that they're not property. They are humans that are loved by Christ. And so there's so much to work on. And just when you think you might have covered everything, something else manifests and you need to, talk about something else or implement another curriculum. So it's definitely a never-ending but rewarding program.
Yeah. So you mentioned the political unrest going on right now in Haiti, with the crime. And, I've even heard there's been riots, kidnappings and things just because of the government. So,
right.
I mean, it definitely, I think it helps to have those advocates there on the ground already. So I know one of my wife's uncle actually is a missionary for Haiti. He actually teaches pastors and leaders within Port-au-Prince. He partners with some organizations there. And,
oh, wow.
I happen to we support him, and I happen to read through his latest email, and he actually went over there. I was quite surprised. I'm like, wow, that is, that takes a lot of faith, especially with everything going on and them not advising you to travel there right now.
Right. Yeah. And sadly, I had a trip scheduled for the first last week, and Peter was supposed to be there right now. Our Gracie and Lake area, we're so far from Port-au-Prince. Not really far, but in Haiti terms, it's about an hour drive. And with the roadblocks and the manifestations, we just didn't want to put our driver or anyone else at risk. And they're not out to, sadly, it's a culture that we'll never understand living here in America. I hate it. I hate it for the country. I hate that children and people are hearing gunshots outside of their windows and seeing, smoke from burning tires. But they are trying to make a political statement, and that is how they get political resolution. So they think, and so they believe. And these people, they refer to them as the opposition. They're paid to do this. And desperate people do desperate things. And it's a vicious cycle,
Yeah. So let's do this. I wanted to start out with this, but let's actually go back to, your beginnings, your history, and talk a little bit about as well as how you actually, got involved with Haiti. So are you originally from Nashville area or Tennessee?
Oh, goodness. No. I was born and raised in a very small town in Louisiana and grew up with a very Cajun cultured family. And actually, Chris, that is what always piqued my interest about Haitians, because in Louisiana, the Cajun and Creole culture is very big there. And chances are, if you were Creole, you had African mixed in you, and it's, that comes from Haiti. So I've always been fascinated with that culture. And when I moved to Nashville, it's coming up on 15 years ago, the church I was attending took trips to Haiti, and I had never heard of a church that did that. I, was come from another part. And anyway, so I became interested and told Peter, I'm going to go to Haiti one day. And over the course of the next year and a half, my women's leader, she leads trips to Israel, and said, you really need to come to Israel. And I said, well, I need to get to Haiti first. And she said, what are you waiting for? And I said, oh my gosh, you're right. What are we waiting for? So I came home and told Peter, hey, if we don't go to Haiti soon, I'm going to Israel. And guess which one's got a cheaper flight? So 3 days later, we were booked for Haiti. And I first went with another organization that's based out of Franklin, Tennessee, called Hands and Feet. So that was the first experience that we had. And we absolutely love those guys and everything they're doing. So that's where it all began. And with Hands and Feet, we went a couple of times, and we still sponsor children there. We really love those guys. But I remember one night sitting on the porch speaking to the directors that are from America that were living there, and we were asking, what could we do? And they said, well, whatever you do, please don't come here and build an orphanage or a school. Like, this is the last thing we need. So that is where Peter and I formed Nashville for Haiti. And our intent was to bring all the organizations out of Middle Tennessee with boots on the ground in Haiti together once a year to actually help each other. You having been in Haiti, you can imagine when you're there, it's so hard to just get the simplest thing accomplished. It could take 3 days there to where it takes 30 minutes here, so.
Yeah, no, funny you mentioned that. It's just, things move a lot slower. One of the things when I went in 2016 is the church I was attending we just moved to Nashville a year and a half ago, but we were from the Chicago area. So the church that we were attending, we partnered with a orphanage and school called Open Door Haiti, which is near, I think it's about an hour from Cap Haitian.
Okay.
And so we were involved with the school, running English camps, helping in the medical center. And, one of the things they knew I was in IT. So they had a computer lab with all these old computers and leaking ceilings, which, water and computers don't mix. And a problem with trying to figure out how we could get internet to this school as well. So, yeah, it's
Yeah, we just smile and shake our heads and say, "Oh, Haiti." Yeah, I mean, I lost internet there a couple of summers ago. My family was there for the summer, and we lost internet one day. And we called for the internet, and yeah, we're coming out today. Called the next day. Oh, somebody is definitely on the way. Called the next day. We'll be right out there. And needless to say, for the rest of the summer, we never had internet. I mean, and there's no customer support line. I mean, there's other fish to fry, so you just don't worry about it.
Yeah, I hear you.
It's a lot of hurry up and wait. And it's crazy, but I'm going to tell you this, Chris, I love it. I get there and I get in that mindset, and it's kind of refreshing, honestly.
Yeah, no, it is. Something that resonates with me, and it always has since, I mentioned Mike Lewis's podcast, is, you can give money and whatever, you can keep pouring money into Haiti, but you really don't get connected and get that, pull your heartstrings until you actually go,
Right. That is so true. That is so true. Because there's something for me, especially having been from Louisiana, there's just a lot that reminded me of home. And we started going, it was shortly after the earthquake and of 2010. So when we went, like our plane landed and the airport was, I believe, like a tarped something or other, and the bathroom was just a hole in the ground with no toilet paper. I mean, it was still really bad. And now the airport's beautiful. If anyone flies in and out, it's absolutely gorgeous, but by Haiti standards. And I felt like I was at home. There's just something about the sights, the sounds, the colors, and the music. And there are resilient people. I'll tell you that. I love it.
So let's talk about, we're kind of not really switching gears, but so you kind of coined this Haiti Moto Club, which are, really different ways that people can get involved in your organization. Can you kind of talk about that and, other things you do around Nashville? I know you've put on some benefit concerts in the past, as recent as, I think last month as well.
Correct. We are a little different than other nonprofits. We kind of just do what we feel is true to ourselves. And with the Moto Club, it just seemed very appropriate because our ministry is called Mission of Truth organization. So the acronym is MOTO. And you might recall from your visit, those little Haitian motos are these little itty motorcycles. Yep. Are one of the number one means of transportation there. And you can almost get car sick just watching them because they're all over the road. There's no road rules. And then a big monster truck comes, barreling down the road, and all these motos just scatter. So there's even like a little moto taxi stand right at the edge of our neighborhood. And we just thought, hey, you know what? Instead of a typical children's hands and all of these other logos that have been done time and time again, we wanted to stand out. So we made the motorcycle our logo and called it the Moto Club. And at first we said that you join the club by becoming a recurring donor. And honestly, some people are in the Moto Club strictly because they wanted the shirt. We would say that you can't buy a shirt or a hat. You just had to join the club and then you would get one. So we've got a few people that are in the club and they probably could care less about our work. They just wanted something that said they're in a Haiti Moto Club. So we like it. It's a good talking piece. It definitely strikes up a conversation when you wear it. People want to know, how is there a Haiti Moto Club and what is it? And Haitians, if you wear it down there, they want to join the club too. They're like, where's the club and how can I join? I've got a bike. But so we are fairly new. We're really new. We just started in March of 2018. So our 2 annual events that we've had have been concerts. And we kind of just thought that was fun. I mean, we're in Nashville, there's a formal dinner fundraiser every single night, just like there's music every night. But, we just thought we'd do the music thing. And we've had a great deal of success with that and other things, like we do the turkey trot. And I hate to speak ahead of myself, but if I can, don't hold me to this, Chris, but I think I'm going to do the turkey trot on stilts this year.
Oh, wow.
I might at a halfway mark have to take a break, but we definitely still like to be involved in the community, especially with kids here. So, we also try to take the resources and training that we've learned and apply it here. So, Turkey Trot, as many people may know in the Middle Tennessee area, services Grace Works Ministries and helping families in need. And then also Peter and I work with foster care here in Middle Tennessee. So just trying to share the love here when we're not able to be in Haiti, and we're always looking to plug in that way.
Yep. So switching gears here, we mentioned this stilt walking thing a couple times. So I'm curious to find out how that started and how you got into that. I know it has a little bit to do as well as, moving to Nashville and what you were doing at that time.
Yeah, that's right. Wow. I've had a fun life, Chris. I'm not going to lie, but when I was in college, I was I started off as a dance major, then switched it to a dance minor. So I've danced all my life, and I was a modern dancer in college. And there was a performing company I was living in Orlando, and in Orlando, there's performing companies everywhere, but this one was really incredible. And I was fascinated by the performance art that was happening within the company. And I just stumbled upon them because I was working as a still photographer on an indie movie, and met this guy who said, hey, you need to meet this woman who is the founder of this performing company. She's from New Zealand and moved here to New York. And now she moved to Orlando because this one character in her company, Divine, was contracted to perform at Animal Kingdom when it opened its doors. And Divine was a 10-foot tall grapevine that did ballet and acrobats on stilts to blend into the environment and then kind of come out of the environment and engage with humans, but then go back into Mother Nature and engage with Mother Nature. And she hired me to photograph her, and I just spent the whole first set crying. I thought, this is the most amazing thing I've seen. And I finally got some good pictures. This was back in the day, though, when we still had film. So, I was using a film. But, so I auditioned and became a divine myself. And that job moved me here in 2005 to Nashville, where I was a resident performer at Gaylord.
Yeah, and that's the Gaylord Opryland, right? Was that the theme park?
Correct. Yeah, not the theme park. The theme park was gone, but I did perform in an area of the hotel called the Delta. And so people strolling through where there's shops and restaurants and, other contracted atmosphere entertainers or artists, they were there. And it was a year when I believe Gaylord Opryland was kind of trying to have like a Vegas or Cirque type feel. And I was their first resident performer they hired with that shift. And it was great. Divine performed 5 days a week, and I had my little fans, and it was wonderful. And if you've ever been to Gaylord Opryland, there's trees, and I mean, it's just beautiful inside. And so it was a great backdrop for Divine to make her home. I blended in with the surroundings, and I loved it. I thought it was amazing. And when I wasn't performing there, I did still perform across the country, whatever events were happening. So I would sometimes work 5 days and then have to fly out quickly for a weekend and come back and work again. And it's definitely a physically exhausting career, but I was blessed to have it for sure.
Awesome. So fast forward to 2019, you were named Mrs. Franklin 2019, and you were part of the Mrs. Tennessee pageant, which was this past summer.
That's correct. And I will tell you, if you've known me, a pageant is just nothing that I've ever done or you would peg me for. I don't feel like I'm, and that's, I guess I don't really know how to say that because it was fun and I am competitive, but I really wanted to bring awareness to Mission of Truth. When the pageant approached me, they said this would be a great way for you to get your name out there with your ministry. So I thought, okay, I'm not really a girly girl, but I'll do it. And I had a blast doing it. I didn't get the crown, but it was important to me that I won first in fitness and Director's Choice Award. So, hey, it was great, but I met some amazing women that I know God wanted me to meet in that process. So, that I've just become really close with. So it was a great experience. I don't think I'd ever do it again. Just, I don't know. Who knows? But it's, it was fun for sure.
Yeah, well, very cool. So, okay. So how can listeners of this podcast or anyone else get involved with or find out more about what Mission of Truth are doing?
Well, definitely they can go to the website, missionoftruth.org. But I will say you'll probably see more action and coverage on our social media. So we're Mission of Truth org on Facebook. And I believe it's the same for Instagram. And honestly, we are always looking for fresh takes on how to engage people here for something they might not see because they might not ever go to Haiti. Just like you said, you don't know till you go.
Right.
So definitely always looking for people to partner with us and do something out of the box. So if someone has out of the box ideas or circles, we'd love to be a part of that because that's what we're all about.